Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we are covering a couple of the biggest upcoming changes that should go live in just a few weeks, with that early August update that we've heard a little bit about. Communication this week has been sparse due to some absolutely terrible events going on over at Bungie, and around now is when we'll get those pre-update patch notes letting us know what's actually happening to the game. But obviously, we didn't get that this week. So this is a reminder video and a pre-showcase from what we have in-game right now of some of those biggest changes that were detailed a bit ago. And they weren't actually detailed, but more likely announced. And there was a good bit there. What I'm talking about is when they announced the Still Hunt nerf. It was supposed to come with everything else. Granted, that is obviously in the game already, and we know how that turned out. But that aside, what are we exactly looking at? It's these notes coming from the previous TWID, which is the source for all of this. But among these changes, you can easily understand most of them. Things like reserves getting increased by 15%, while a very impactful change. You're gonna see 1 ammo in rockets, a couple more ammo on grenade launchers and stuff like that. Just take 15% of what you've got and you're gonna get around that much more. For the weapons, you've got tech scouts doing 30% more damage, less sniper flinch, Ariana's Vow is getting its damage increased, easy. What I wanted to bring attention to and make this video about was the mention of buffing a couple of our Titan supers, which is this here where they just say increasing Twilight Arsenal and Hammer of Soul damage versus bosses and mini bosses. You can look at that and say, okay, you're just increasing damage. Is that a big deal? And I want to say yes. If we take a look at our current damage values, Twilight Arsenal, just throwing the axes, not picking them up or doing anything like that, comes out to 453,619 damage total. I am including, of course, the weekend that itself procs. And then if we look at the other supers involved here, the 2 Hammer of Souls, because if you recall, Hammer of Soul was changed so that it does more or less damage depending on if you have the Soul Invictus aspect equipped. So those numbers are 679,296 with Soul Invictus and 431,602 total when you don't have Soul Invictus. Now, of course, you can look at those numbers, whatever. We need to compare them. So if we take those against a couple of our top dogs, like Celestial Nighthawk, for example, that deals 601,781 damage. Then if we move over to more of a roaming super, something that isn't just a one and done, we have like Song of Flame, a very popular one, which deals 783,339 total. And with those values, we can see that both of the Titan supers are pretty average, but not bad. Hammer of Soul without Soul Invictus is pretty terrible. Granted, I do want to point out, in my testing, I didn't go for the max damage increase because most of the time you don't get that. You're just going to throw it wherever you can. I did try to back up a bit, but I wasn't sniping Greg. And then normal Hammer of Soul is fairly good, but it is under Song of Flame. And then for the burst supers, Twilight Arsenal is worse than Golden Gun with Celestial. Granted, that's with an exotic. But now if we consider what a damage increase is going to look like, whether that's 10%, 20%, Hammer of Soul with Soul Invictus could easily overtake Song of Flame. Granted, there's some more nuance because Song of Flame is really good because it allows you to use your weapons while in super, but damage-wise, Hammer of Soul has an easy pass there. Then where burst supers are considered, Twilight Arsenal already performs somewhat well. Again, we are comparing Golden Gun with Celestial Nighthawk, so you're having an exotic buffing the super. Twilight Arsenal is only 150k behind it, which means this super doesn't need much buffs at all to become very, very good. And that's not to mention that on top of having competitive burst DPS already, you can then use the axes, which is currently a bit of a throw. But if those see an increase in damage too, and it makes picking them up actually worth our time, Twilight Arsenal might become a very, very good pick. But I do want to stress where Twilight Arsenal is concerned. Again, we're looking at this list. That is a regular super versus a super with an exotic. You don't need much at all for Twilight Arsenal to become more than competitive. Now, at the end of the day, I don't know what the damage increases are yet. Hopefully, I've been able to convey that you should expect these changes to be pretty damn impactful where DPS supers are concerned. Right now, there's a lot of discontent with Titans in games, specifically for DPS, and these changes might see some of that alleviated. Granted, again, I just don't know yet. Ultimately, this video is mostly speculation while reminding you guys that these changes are coming. So all my Titans out there, you can look forward to it. And I think that's everything I wanted to say. It was, a quick video. I just wanted to put some numbers in front of you, remind you guys of this update. And I'd really like to know what you guys think down below in the comments about these two supers and what you think is going to happen with this August update. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me and support the channel, a like, a comment, a subscription goes a long way on the road to 9,000 subscribers. And after that, and I'm very happy to have you with me. And if you want to support me and support the channel, but you can't think of a comment down below, Titan Supers. And with that, as usual, I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to see you around.